question, member from Timiskaming Cochrane.
Thank you. My question's to the Premier. Ontario hospitals have been driven to the breaking point by your government, and this budget won't undo the damage. Operating funding for hospitals is $300 million short of what the hospitals say they needed. That means our community hospitals will continue to be squeezed, patients will be continued to be treated in hallways, and northern and rural hospitals will continue to be forced to cut the services that people count on. Why is this government continuing to refuse the damage they've caused in our hospitals?
Thank you, Premier.
Minister of Health and Long-Term Care.
Minister of Health, Long-Term Care.
$1 billion in Ontario's hospitals, and this past week in our budget we announced more than $500 million, or a 3.1% increase to the bottom line, that base funding, the operational cost of hospitals right across this province. And that means that all Ontario hospitals are going to get a minimum increase of at least 2%, and we've reserved that extra part specifically so we could address those challenges that are faced by a number of hospitals across this province, whether that's in their ERs, whether that's bed capacity, facing a high level of population growth in their regions. And, Mr. Speaker, I would ask that the member opposite perhaps might want to speak to the Ontario Health the Ontario Hospital Association, the OHA, with regards to their response to what is outlined in the budget, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
4 years.
Speaker, once again, back to the Premier. Hospital budgets have been frozen for years, and a 2% increase is basically inflation. Like, that's nothing to crow about. Giving inflationary costs to the base budget isn't exactly a huge gift. So the people who are in hallways and the surgeries that are being cancelled are not going to be corrected by simpler an inflationary increase. Why is this government refusing to acknowledge this problem? Thank you.
Thank you. Minister.
So, Mr. Speaker, Anthony Dale, the President and CEO of the Ontario Hospital Association, had this to say about our budget. The government's significant investments in hospital capital, because we added $9 million to the $11 million that's already there for a total of $20 billion over the next decade, will help to support a sustainable healthcare system for the future. With regards to the operational investments, today's investment in the healthcare sector is an acknowledgement of the capacity challenges that hospitals have been facing. It also signals a renewed commitment from government to expand and enhance access to care across the continuum. Mr. Speaker, today's budget announcement, he goes on to say, is an investment in patient care and will help maintain system stability and strengthen access to frontline services. A 3.1%, more than $500 million addition to the $500 million that we increased by last year. That's more than $1 billion in 2 years to our hospitals, Mr. Speaker.